Welcome back to the Explainer, everyone. Setting up a home aquarium is incredibly rewarding, but here's a little secret to a disaster-free setup. The absolutely crucial work actually happens before a single drop of water ever touches the glass. Today, we're focusing entirely on disaster prevention. We're going to conduct a comprehensive pre-installation safety audit based on essential industry guidelines. This is all about ensuring your home is truly, fully ready for your aquatic vision. It's so easy to fall into the plug-and-play illusion, right? We see a gorgeous tank at the store, and the expectation is just take it home, fill it up, drop the fish in, and you're done. But the reality? Setting up a tank is basically introducing a heavy, dynamic, water-filled machine into your living space. Beneath the surface of that beautiful aquascape is this hidden iceberg of real-world, structural, plumbing, and yes, even insurance planning. And listen, if we ignore these, we are totally setting ourselves up for potential disaster. Okay, let's dive into this. Our comprehensive safety audit checklist is broken down into 4 key phases. First, handling the heavy lifting. Second, mapping your water flow. Third, checking financial coverage. And fourth, perfecting placement and power. Let's jump right into phase 1, handling the heavy lifting. This first step requires us to look directly at your home's physical foundation and its floor load capabilities. To really grasp what we're dealing with here, we need to introduce what I call the weight of reality. Water is incredibly heavy. When you're doing your initial calculations, a solid rule of thumb is that 1 liter of water weighs roughly 1 kilogram. So think about a 500-liter tank that is 500 kilograms of sheer liquid weight. To put that into perspective, that's literally the equivalent of parking a grand piano in a concentrated little corner of your living room. That is a massive metric you have to keep in mind. And this brilliantly illustrates how that 1 kilogram per liter multiplies rapidly, because the math doesn't stop at just the water. A full aquarium adds weight across multiple categories, so you really have to calculate the total load. Take that water weight we just talked about, and now stack on the weight of a heavy-duty wooden or metal stand. Then add the substrate, the heavy hardscape rocks, and all the filtration equipment. That initial weight calculation balloons, and all of it pushes down onto a very, very specific footprint on your floor. This is exactly why you absolutely cannot leave placement to chance. Floors just aren't uniform. You need to consider how your joists, beams, and load-bearing walls distribute this immense weight. If you're planning a larger tank, and especially if you want to place it on an upper floor, the official guidance is super clear. Consult a structural professional or a building engineer. You might actually need to add physical support under the floorboards, like making sure your stand sits directly over structural members. Seriously, do not leave this to chance. Moving on to phase 2, mapping your water flow. Now we're shifting our focus from the static weight of the tank to the dynamic movement of the water itself. Because the truth is, most aquarium problems at home don't actually come from a shattering tank. They stem from how you fill, remove, or leak water. You've got to plan the logistics of your water's entire life cycle way before setup. Step 1, identify your source. Are you connecting to a nearby sink, or are you going all out and installing a dedicated water line? Step 2 is planning a safe filling method, maybe using a controlled siphon system. And step 3, which people almost always forget, map out a convenient drainage path for your frequent water changes. You want a route that isn't going to create dangerous slip hazards or end up spilling fish tank water all over your pristine hardwood floors. Because let me tell you, that is a really quick way to ruin a weekend. To really communicate why this early risk mitigation matters so much, just picture this disaster scenario for a second. Imagine an upper floor tank sitting on plush carpet, positioned right next to your expensive home theater system or computer setup. In a setup like that, even a minor splash during a routine water change, let alone a full-blown mechanical leak, would be absolutely catastrophic. And that right there is exactly why we must implement leak mitigation. For those high-risk scenarios we just visualized, simple physical safeguards are your essential defensive layers. Placing drip trays under the tank and the plumbing, or installing smart leak detection systems that can alert your phone or literally shut off the pumps automatically, adds a crucial layer of protection against those accidental spills. Address those risks early. Don't wait until the carpet is already soaked. All right, phase 3, checking financial coverage. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the massive gap between expectation and reality. This is the administrative protection phase of our audit. We need to look really closely at your homeowners or renters' policies before a single fish or piece of coral is ever purchased. Many hobbyists just assume their standard policy is this magical safety net that covers all accidental water loss. But the reality? Insurance policies are often way stricter. Homeowners and renters policies vary wildly. While some might cover a sudden catastrophic break, many specifically exclude water damage caused by gradual leaks over time, or issues they deem to be caused by poor maintenance. And let's be honest, trying to explain extensive water damage to a landlord or an insurance adjuster is a headache you want to avoid entirely. So before you install anything, you need to contact your insurer. I want you to treat this list as your non-negotiable script when you speak with your agent. Tell them the precise tank size and its exact location in the home. Confirm with them that you are using a proper leveling stand. Explain the leak mitigation trays or shutoff controls you already have in place, and detail your plans for managing potential overflows. Getting complete alignment on these details ensures you know exactly what is covered and what additional risk reduction steps you might need to take on your end. Finally, Phase 4, perfecting placement and power. This step focuses on the immediate physical environment directly surrounding your tank, because placement heavily affects safety and stability. There are immediate red flag locations in your home that you simply must avoid. First, keep the tank out of direct sunlight, unless you want massive, uncontrollable algae blooms. Keep it away from heating vents and exterior doors to eliminate dangerous temperature swings for your livestock. And absolutely avoid high-traffic areas where accidental bumps from kids, pets, or guests could spell total disaster. You also have to remember that an aquarium is an active working machine. It requires regular maintenance. If you squeeze your tank into a tight, inaccessible corner just because it looks nice aesthetically, you are going to deeply regret it later. You must leave room for access. Your filters, heaters, protein skimmers, and water testing supplies all need physical space for you to reach them comfortably on a weekly basis. Once you have that perfect spot picked out, we have to talk about leveling. Following the manufacturer's guidance to use a stable, totally even base is completely non-negotiable. As the source material points out, even small irregularities can become problems over time. An uneven stand places long-term uneven stress on the glass panels and the silicone seams. Over months or years, that unequal pressure is exactly what causes catastrophic seam failures. Just don't risk it. So the crucial point is we have to safely marry electricity and water in this controlled environment. This means plugging into appropriate outlets, mandating the use of ground fault protection, those GFCI outlets, where required by local codes, and properly securing your cords to prevent any accidental water exposure. Definitely look into using drip loops on your power cords. It's a simple trick where the cord dips down below the outlet so water can never physically travel down the wire and into the socket. Bringing this all together, the big takeaway from our audit is this. By planning ahead for floor load, mapping out your plumbing, and verifying your insurance, Aquarium setup transforms from a massive home damage gamble into a highly controlled, deeply rewarding project. Confirming your structural capacity and clarifying your coverage minimizes the likelihood of unexpected costs and those devastating leaks. And you know, when that underlying anxiety is completely removed because you've done all the pre-installation work correctly, you can finally focus entirely on the fun part, building and maintaining a thriving, healthy aquatic ecosystem. So, with your safety audit complete, I just have one question left to ask. Are you ready to build a healthy aquarium? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy planning!